Hello reception, it's Miss Wright here. I hope you're all okay and I hope you're all at home keeping safe. So today I thought I would come and do a little bit of writing with you. Now to be able to do this writing, you need to watch Mrs. Bye's video of her reading the story of the Little Red Hen, because the writing that we're going to do is going to be based on the story of the Little Red Hen. And to be able to do this writing, you need to know the story and know what the characters are saying, because we're going to write some speech bubbles today. And to be able to write those speech bubbles, you need to have an idea in your head of what those characters might be saying, okay? So you don't need anything for this lesson. You just need to watch me and watch what I do and join in when you can with our tricky words and sounds, okay? And then afterwards you can go away and you can write some speech bubbles by yourself, okay? So to start with here, I'm just going to go through the pictures on the piece of paper that I've got, and these pictures are all from the story of the Little Red Hen. Okay, so at the top here, we've got the Little Red Hen with her freshly baked loaf of bread, okay, because none of the other characters would help her bake the bread, so she made it all by herself. And whenever she asked them for help, they said, "Not I," okay, and they weren't very kind or helpful. None of them would help her make the bread, okay. But when it came to eating the bread, they all wanted to eat it, didn't they? And then the Little Red Hen said, "No, I will eat it myself." Okay, and she said that because she thought that the other characters, they didn't deserve any bread because they refused to help her and they weren't kind or helpful. Okay, so we're going to start off by writing the speech bubble at the top. Now, just as a little reminder, we have talked about this lots of times before, but just to remind you, a speech bubble is something, so you can see it comes from the character in the story, and it usually points at their mouths, because in the speech bubble, it usually reads what the character is saying, okay, so what they would have said in the story. Now, not all stories have speech bubbles, but in some books you will see speech bubbles and they tell you what the character is saying, okay. So we're going to make a start. So we're going to decide what we're going to write in our first speech bubble at the top, okay. So this one is coming from the Little Red Hen, okay, and she has baked her fresh loaf of bread. So she is going to say, "Who will help me eat the loaf?" Okay, who will help me eat the loaf? Okay, so a loaf is just a loaf of bread. We call it a loaf of bread. Okay, so what you would buy in the supermarket, it's just a loaf of bread and it's quite long and it comes in like a bag that's usually tied up. Okay, so we're going to call it a loaf today. So who will help me eat the loaf? So we've got 7 words there. Who will help me eat the loaf? So your first word is who. Okay, that's actually quite a tricky word and you might not know this one, so I'm going to show you how to write it, okay? So who, W-H-O, okay, who. Your next word, who will help me eat the loaf? Who will. Okay, so next word is will, so we're going to sound out the word will. Will. Okay, who will. Now I'm going to leave a finger space between my words, so that's our digraph okay, so who will help me eat the loaf? Okay, who will help? Okay, let's sound out the word help. 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 Who will help me eat the loaf? Who will help me? Okay, so we've got our tricky words here on the bottom. So the word me begins with an M, so let's see if we can find it. Well, there it is. That's our tricky word, me. So it's M-E, okay? Who will help me? So we're just going to copy that one. M-E, me. E. Okay. Who will help me? And what they're going to do with it, they're going to eat it. Who will help me eat? Eat. So eat, eat. Okay, now our E sound is actually one that we've not done before. Okay, so it's actually E-A-T, which is a bit tricky. Okay. Who will help me eat? Who will help me eat the loaf? Okay. Who will help me eat the loaf? So let's check which words we've already got. Who will help me eat the? So your tricky word the is here. T-H-E. So who will help me eat the? So we're going to copy this tricky word. T-H-E. Okay, excellent. Who will help me eat the loaf? Sound out the word loaf. L-O-F. Loaf. Now your O sound, which is this one, is O like in goat. So L-O-F. Loaf, like goat. Goat. It's your O sound in the middle. So it's an O and an A, or an O and an A. So who will help me eat the loaf? L-O-F. Loaf. It's your O sound here. Okay, so I'm going to use this one. So O like in goat. That's your digraph. Okay. Who will help me eat the loaf? Now, because it's a question, we're going to put a full stop. We're going to put a question mark. Okay. Who will help me eat the loaf? Okay. Excellent. So that is what the Little Red Hen said in her speech bubble. Okay. Now, at the end of the story, like we said, the other characters, they said that they would eat the bread because it smelled so yummy. Okay, and so fresh, and they could smell it fresh from the oven after it had been baked. But they didn't help her cook the bread. They didn't help her plant the wheat or cut the wheat or do any of those jobs. But they all said that they would eat the bread, and they were very cheeky. So, who will help me eat the loaf? And they all said, I will, said the dog. I will, said the cat. I will, said the duck. Okay, so in these speech of wills, we're going to write I will. Okay, so it's really easy. 2 words, I will. Okay, so I is your tricky word I, which is here. Okay, so I'm going to write that here. I will. Sound out will. W-I-L, will. W-I-L. Remember, it's your digraph all sound, okay? Who will help me eat the loaf? I will, said the dog. And then the cat said, I will. So we're going to write the same again. Your tricky word I will. W-I-L, will. W-I-L. Your full stops. Okay. Who will help me eat the loaf? I will, barked the dog. I will, purred the cat. I will, quacked the duck. So again, we're going to write I will. So your tricky word I, which is here. I will. W-I-L. Okay, right, so what we're going to do now is we're just going to read our sentences back, okay, so we're just going to do that together. So I'll just bring it a little bit closer for you. Okay, So we're just going to read our sentences back together, okay? So, who, tricky word, who, will, who will, help, who will help me, tricky word, me, who will help me eat, tricky word, the THE, who will help me eat the loaf, who will help me eat the loaf, I will bark the dog, I will purred the cat, I will quacked the duck. Okay, excellent reception. So really good listening today, and I'm glad that you have all come to watch my video of our writing session. So what you could do yourself is you could go away and you could get a piece of paper and you could draw the characters in the story. So you could draw a hen, and you could draw a dog, and you could draw a cat, and you could draw a duck, and then you could ask a grown-up to help you, and you could draw some speech bubbles coming from the characters' mouths, and you could decide what they are saying. Now you might change it and you might do a different part of the story. I decided to do the bit at the end where she had baked the bread, but you might do a little bit of a different part of the story, and you can use Mrs. By's video to help you to try and remember the different parts of it. So you might decide to get the hen to say, who will help me cut the wheat? Or you might get her to say, who will help me plant the wheat? Okay? And instead of saying I will, because for those parts of the story, the characters were very unkind and they said, not I. So you would write in these speech bubbles, not I. Okay? So try and use your tricky words as much as you can and your phonics. Just a little bit of a quick reminder for parents, please don't worry about perfect spellings, and just to remember in reception, mainly we are just asking for sentences where the children have applied their phonics. So for example, if I just show you where I've written the word who, the children might sound it out phonetically like ew, because they wouldn't have really done that word before. So here they've used their oo sound like in moon, and they've used their phonics, and that would be absolutely fine at this stage. As well as the word, for example, eat, they probably wouldn't have known the e sound, so they would have used the e, which is the double e. So they might write it like this. So it would go eat. Okay, so please don't worry, and that is absolutely fine if the children do that, because they're using their phonics and they're applying those sounds. So please don't worry if you kind of see spellings like this. It's absolutely fine, and it is what we would expect at this stage. Okay, so I hope that's helped you, parents and children. Well done, and thank you for coming to watch my video today. And I really hope that you go away and you do some lovely writing from this story. You might even want to go away and write the story yourself if you feel like you can. You might even just go away and do the speech bubbles, or you might go away and draw the characters, and you might want to label them like dog, d-o-g, dog, or hen, hen, or cat, cat, or duck, duck. Okay, so there's lots and lots of ideas that you could do. So you can go away, you could draw the characters, or parents, if you can, you could print off some pictures from the story, or you could draw the pictures for them if they're a bit reluctant to do it, and just try and get them to do a couple of speech bubbles. Okay, so I would really hope that children, you go away and you do some lovely writing. And parents, please feel free to share them with us by email. You could send us some photos of what the children have done of their work, or you could post it on our Twitter page. So please feel free to share that with us. And like I said, please don't worry about these perfect spellings. Just as long as the children are using their phonics, that is absolutely fine. Okay, so children, thank you very much. and hopefully I will see you very, very soon, okay? Please be good and please stay safe at home, okay? Lots of love. Bye.